Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Sturtzhau. I've mentioned it before in other videos. Today I'm going to be talking about the practical application of how I've been using it in my fighting over the last 16 or so years. So this isn't a video about what the manuals show you what to do with the strike. This is basically how I fight and how in some ways it might resemble what's shown in manuals or in some artwork, okay? So there's two methods I've discussed in prior videos for the Sturtzhau. One's with the back edge, one's with the true edge. Okay. Now, as far as the power generation, the way I generate power, and we'll talk about the back edge first. If I'm standing here, I'll drop my tip that way, lifting my elbow up. By lifting my elbow up, I'm stretching out my lat muscles, and then I basically bring my elbow down, right, and that generates the power. Okay. So with the back edge, I'll drop my elbow down, and I'll come over the top like that, okay? Okay, so my sword, my hand stays behind my shield or my buckler, and that's how I generate that shot with the back edge, okay? It's a shot that I've been able to, use many times successfully in sparring. It's something that I have to, think about. Like, I want to do this shot with the back edge. One of the issues with this shot, when I do it with the back edge, the sword tends to come over to the left side, all right, which leaves my head open to that side. So if they block my sword, right, they're usually going to counter with a shot to my head, and many times I'm going to end up, dead. So the other problem with this is that my follow-up shots are somewhat limited. Let me illustrate again. So once I come in with the back edge like that, so from this position here, I can only really attack to the left side of the body, right? So I can come around, strike to the head that way, I can come into an armpit, or I can come back and thrust, right? But I can't really attack to the right side. If I do this with the true edge, I find that I have many more options. So with the true edge, my power generation is the same. I'll lift my elbow up and I'll drop it. What tends to happen is the sword tends to be more to my right side. So if they counter with a shot to the right side of my head, my sword's here to to quickly block it. That's a lot faster. Or if they come to the left side, I have my buckler or my shield on that side. So I find that my defense is better if I use this with the true edge versus the rather than flipping it over on the false edge. And also my follow-up shots are basically I have more follow-up shot options. Okay, so with the true edge, I'll drop this thing, bring it out like this. All right, so from here, I can still go to the left side head, right? I can go left side body, but I can also go leg. I can come back and strike at the head. So I can attack left side or right side. I can also come back with a thrust. So I find that I have a lot more options if I do this with the true edge. So that's why I generally do it with the true edge versus the back edge. Now, in terms of my practical fighting, one of the things to be aware of is that you generally have to get a little bit closer with this shot because of the way it comes over the top, right, and it sort of plunges down a little bit like that, right. First of all, when I throw this shot, just be aware. What I do is I loosen up my hand a little bit over here, right. So you can see how I just loosen it up, and that's what allows the sword to plunge down a little bit. Okay, so that's how I throw this shot. I've been throwing this for many years. It doesn't stress my hand out or my wrist because all the power generation is back here, and I just throw it, right, and it just comes over the top. I loosen up my hand a little bit, right, and then from here, because my thumb's still over the top, I can go to the leg or I can go somewhere else. But I do generally need to be a little bit closer because of the way it comes over the top. Now, what I would often do is I will throw a Sturtzhau, which is basically a straight vertical strike, as a probing shot. Okay, so from a little further out, I'll just throw the Sturtzhau, right? Same deal. I'm loosening up my hand a little bit, right? I'm throwing that straight out over there, all right? And what I'm doing is when I throw that shot, I'm observing how somebody is blocking that. Okay, so a couple of ways they can block it. They can raise their shield or their buckler up, which is going to expose their legs. They can block with their sword horizontal like this, in which case there's going to be a horizontal opening between their blade and their shield. Okay, they can block it like this, in which case there'll be an opening to the right side over there. They can block it like that, in which case there'll be an opening to the left side. So for that reason, I'll throw from a little further out, I'll just throw a Sturtzhau, you know, just to observe how they block that shot. And depending on what I see at some later point in the fight, you know, I will either throw that same Sturtzhau again, or I'll throw the Sturtzhau, which is gonna, you know, so let's say I might throw Sturtzhau from there, step in, right? As I step in now, I can come over the top, going a little bit deeper, and I already have the information from earlier about where the opening is likely to be. So if I saw that they brought their shield up, I can go straight to the leg. Or if I saw that they blocked with the blade and the shield horizontal, you know, I can come in horizontal and strike at their head. Or if I saw that they blocked like this, you know, I can come to that side. Or if I saw that they blocked like that, you know, I can come to that side. So that's how I use this shot. And this is a shot that I use with quite a bit of frequency, but it is a shot that I need to get a little bit closer. So usually I got to set it up with something else, right? So I might, you know, like I said, I might throw a Sturtzhau like that, you know, or I might just throw, you know, like a left side middle how or Sturtzhau, right? You know, and then from there come back and then throw over the top like that. So it's a shot that I've had a good deal of success with. It is a very powerful shot because you're basically using this powerful muscle here, right? And just really, you know, cranking down over the top like that. So I hope you guys found this video useful. And like I said, this is not a video necessarily about what the manuals, the historical manuals tell you to do. It's about how I use this shot. And there's some artwork that comes to mind. A medieval knight, full armor. He's got metal gauntlets on. And we can clearly see that, you know, he's got his hand out like this. Now, it's hard to tell whether he's using the true edge or if he's using the back edge because he's got gauntlets on. However, with the thick gauntlets that he has on, and I fight with gauntlets sometimes. It's kind of hard to flip. You know, when you got gauntlets on, it's kind of hard to flip over back edge, you know, front edge. So I suspect that he's actually using the true edge, even though a lot of people think that he's using the back edge. I think he's using the true edge just because it's difficult to flip this over to the back side if you've got gauntlets on. I can do it now pretty easily with without any gauntlets or even gloves on, but with the gauntlets it does become a little bit more difficult. So I suspect he's using the true edge and just flipping it over like that. So if you guys got any comments, put in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.